Hello. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Okay. Hello, guys. How are you?
Fine.
Okay. So, whatever we have done yesterday, you guys have seen those things on the video. The video has been uploaded or not?
So, sir, we didn't get any video
Okay.
updated.
Okay. Video has not been updated. Okay. No problem. It will be updated by soon. Okay. So, today, what we are gonna do, we will see some initial. Let me just open this. Okay. You guys can see my screen right now.
Yes.
Okay. So today
Yes,
we
sir.
are gonna have topics. Okay, just let me introduce that what we are gonna do. We will see some initial working of the Palo Alto. In the initial working, I will just tell you that how we will start some configuration. Okay. After that, we will cover the interface management. What is the role of the interface management? It is the most important one. Okay. After that, we will cover the types of interfaces. Okay. And if we will have time, then we will cover the types of zones also. Okay. So these are the things that we are going to do. Okay. So we will start with the initial configuration. Okay. So first thing that we know that where we put our firewall always between a private, which can be our system, user, company, or anything, and the public network. Okay. Which can be our internet, or we can say public, or we can say our untrusted network. Okay. So basically, this is our Palo Alto firewall. Okay. And suppose this is our Ethernet E1/2 and it has IP, for example, dot 100. This is also dot 100. This is dot 50. Okay. So whenever we create our private network, we always give it as inside. Okay. And the public network, we always give it outside. This inside and outside are the zones. Okay. We will discuss about these zones in brief after some time. Okay. So how we can create the zones? First, let me show you that how we can create the zone. Let me see. Okay. So today I will share some the images of the Palo Alto Cisco firewall after the class. Okay. Or maybe by tomorrow I will share those images. I will put one drive link. You guys can download from that link. So let me just start my firewall. Let us wait for the 2-3 minutes. Okay, so what we are gonna do here, it will boot after 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, so what we are gonna do, we're gonna create two zones. Okay, I will show you that how we can create these zones in the GUI. Okay, so we are gonna name them zone as inside and outside. So right now we will just see that how we can create the zones. Okay, and what are the settings? Okay, I think it is boot up. It is taking time. Mhm. Mm, Let me open one more Palo Alto. Just wait for a few minutes, guys. Is it similar to net and outside? No, net and these are the zones. Net is for, we use net for the translation of the IP. Okay, we'll discuss all those things later. I will explain what these zones are. Okay, let our device get boot up. Till then, we will discuss about the interface management. Okay, after that, I will show you that how we can create the zones. So there is one concept of interface management. So what is please mute your mic, guys. So what is the concept of interface management? Basically, basically we use interface management profiles. Okay, here we create some profiles and which is used to protect the firewall from the unauthorized access. So here we can define interface management as that we use interface management profile to protect the firewall from unauthorized access. Okay, so here what we do, basically here we define some services, okay, and the IP address that a firewall interface permits. Okay, so in this, how we gonna protect the firewall? By taking unauthorized access, by with the help of, by defining some services. Okay, that services may include, let me just, I will show you this also. By defining, okay, by defining services like ping, HTTP, SSH, telnet, and there are other services also. I will show you all these things. Okay, so by defining these services and IP address, or we can say IP addresses that a firewall interface permits. Okay, so basically we use this interface management on a particular interface. Basically here we create some profiles. Okay, we name this profile. Okay, let us see our firewall has been booted up or not. Okay, it has been booted up. So for that, to access the or to see the management IP, for that we have a command show interface management. So with the help of this management IP, that is 2.129, we will take the access of the this firewall, Palo Alto Firewall 192.168.2. Okay, here it is HTTP. So what we are going to do, we will use HTTPS admin. Okay, so let me just show you that how we can create from this. This is the interface section. We will just go into the network. From here we can define our interfaces. Okay, here this is the interface name. You can leave the comment section. These are the interfaces types, which is tap, HA, virtual wire, layer 2, layer 3. Okay, we want, suppose we want a layer 3 interface. Netflow profile, you can just leave it. Virtual router, you will always select default. Okay, after that, when we will discuss what is virtual router, then we will create some virtual routers. Okay, and this is the security zone. Okay, either if we have add some zones, then it will show zones here. If we have created some zones, then those zones will be, we can see here. If we haven't created any zone, then we can create from here. Okay, and if we want to create some zones, then we have to go into this network section, then click on this zone, and with the help of this add tab, we can create zone. Suppose I want to create one zone like inside. Okay, this is a zone I want to create. Just leave it, and in the type we are using layer 3, and on whatever interface. Okay, I haven't enabled any interface right now, that's why it is not showing. If you will just, okay, for example, if I will just click here and let me just give any loopback. Okay, I will not able to enable user authentication, and in the zone protection profile. Okay, just leave it right now. Okay, so first we what we are going to do, we will create one interface. For example, here we are going to create one interface. Then how we are going to create the interface? Suppose this is the interface, and in the interface type I'm going to select layer 3. In the virtual router I'm going to select a default. In the security zone I'm going to create a new zone, which is my inside. Okay, just click OK here. After that, you will select this IP version 4 box. Okay, and then click on the add. From here we can add the IP address. Suppose I want to give 192.168.1.2/24. So this is the IP address I want to give, And from here, if you will go into the advanced option, here you can, if you have created a management profile, then you can go here. Okay. These are the basic things that we are going to do. Okay, now let us understand everything. What are the types of interfaces? Okay, what is management profile? And after that we will discuss about the zone. Okay, so these are the some basic things that we are going to do on this Palo Alto firewall. Okay, but before that, let us see what are the concepts of this, like interface management system. What is the use of this interface management system? Then I will show you that how we are going to create the management profiles. So by defining services and IP address, there's a firewall interface. Now we can assign, I have shown you that we can assign interface management profile to layer 3 Ethernet interfaces. Okay, and we do not attach this profile that allows, or we can say, if I want my some interface that I don't want services like on that particular interface, I don't want services like telnet, ssh, http or https. If I want that, suppose on my E1/1 I want services like http, telnet, ssh, https. On other interface I don't want, suppose E1/2, I don't want these services to be enabled on this particular interface. Okay, according to the situation. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create one management profile. Suppose I have named it ping ssh. Okay, and I'm gonna create all these services. Okay, you have to just check it. Let me just show you that how we are gonna create the management profile. So you can create the management profile. You just go here, go to the not here, like this. We can create a management profile only on the layer 3. Okay, so we will go into the advanced option after clicking the interface type, which is layer 3. Okay, and here you can create the management profile. This is the one step. Okay, or you can create management profile from here. You will go into the network, and then here, this is the interface management. From, you will go here and then click on the add. Suppose I have given the name ping response, ping hyphen response. I've given, you can give any name, and I want services like ping, telnet, ssh, http, https, snmp, response pages, user id, whatever you want. Okay, or you can create only one thing like ping. I'm giving it name as only ping. Okay, so we have created here two management profiles. One is for the everything. Let us rename it all services. Okay, and here only ping. So how we are going to add this management profile? Like here in this interface tab, you will see these things: interface type, management profile. So whatever management profile you will add here, it will show you. Okay, suppose I have given this interface E1/1. Okay, and I will select this interface as layer 3. Okay, we are not doing all these settings right now. I'm just showing you the management profile thing. Okay, so here we have created two management profile, which is on lipping and all services. Suppose on the E1/1 I'm giving all services. Okay, just click OK. It is not opened yet because we haven't given anything, not IP, nothing else. Okay, I'm just showing you that how we're gonna create the management profile, or we can, how we can implement that management profile we have created on the particular interface. So you will just go here, interface type layer 3. Okay, please note down these steps. Okay, I will share the PDF also. Okay, in that particular it will show you the steps.
ওরা আসতো এখানে, ওরা বাবার কাছে যাচ্ছে। ইদানিং আসে না, আগে তো আসতো। ইয়া কই ফাহিম, ওরা কই? ও আচ্ছা আচ্ছা আচ্ছা।
Okay, so all services, and this is only for the ping. So in this particular interface, we will not able to take the SSH, we will not able to take the telnet, HTTP, HTTPS services, nothing. This interface will only be able to ping. Okay, it will allow only packets of ping, and ping is the protocol of ICMP. Okay, so ICMP is a protocol which perform this ping services. Okay, and in this E1/1 interface, we can perform anything: SSH, telnet, HTTP, HTTPS, because we have allowed every services on this particular interface. Now what we are gonna next point that we can write in this management profile is that, and there is one more thing, that we will not attach, do not attach the interface management profile to the global protect portal or the gateway. Why? Because we don't want our management interface to be exposed to the internet, or we can say the untrusted, or we can say the public network. Okay,
হ্যাঁ সেটাই
what
তো,
this
এটা তো
global protect is, we will please
এখন
mute
সেটার বেশি
yourself,
হয়ে গেছে
guys.
আছে, মানুষ খাওয়ার ইয়ে নাই।
Okay,
ইলেকশনের
so
পরে হয়তো সামনে বছর এটা কিছু ইয়ে
hey,
চেঞ্জ হইতে পারে।
please mute yourself, Adnan.
আসতে পারবে, অসুস্থ থাকে এখানে থাকে বলেছে। ও তো ঢাকা ইউনিভার্সিটি থেকে আপনার মাস্টার্স শেষ করছে।
Okay, so what was the step to create the management profile? We will just go into the network. We will go into the network profiles. Then we will go into the interface management, and there we just add that particular profile. Okay, so here in the name there are some things. For example, if I will open it, I will go here on the interface management, and if I will open the services. Okay, so these are the things, like why we are using this name. This is basically for the, or we can say it is kind of a profile name. Okay, whatever this profile name we will create it will show on the interface management profile section. Okay, we have configured here, for example, just cancel it. Here on this interface section in the management profile section, whatever the name we will give, it will show you here. Okay, so that it will be easy to understand that on particular interfaces what are the management profile we are using. Now if I will open it again, all services, and now there are these network services. Okay, so these services like telnet, SSH, HTTP, and HTTPS. all these four services we call as a administrative management services. Okay, and other services like ping, http, oscp, ocsp, ठीक है, response pages, snmp. So these are all the services. We call it as a network services. Okay, and there is one more thing, that permitted IP address. Basically in this we will enter the list of the IP version 4 or the IP version 6 addresses from which the interfaces will allow the access. Okay, when we will do the practical thing, then I will show you all these things. Okay, you will just go, you can just add things like this. You can just go here and whatever the IP you have to give, you can just give it. Okay, so next thing we have the interfaces. As we can see here, if you will just go here, okay, automatically there are so many interfaces. Right now we have created layer 3. Okay, so there are some interfaces like tap, HA, virtual wire, layer 2, layer 3. So what are those interfaces? We will discuss in a while. Okay, so till then, let me just write some points about the firewall interfaces. Let me use this pen. So we are going to discuss about the firewall interfaces. So interface configuration of firewall. Here data ports will enable the traffic to enter into the firewall or exit into the firewall. So basically with the help of this interfaces, our traffic either it will enter or it will exit from the firewall. So this is the basically main role of the interfaces. Okay, now we can enable the interfaces, like on the firewall interfaces we can either enable to connect to other network devices, or we can just either we cannot give it to the like we cannot assign any, not layer 3, not layer 2, not any address. Okay, or we can use it for the monitoring purpose, which is our the tap interfaces. Okay, you can if you are seeing here, that we can see here that it is showing like this: ethernet 1/1. Okay, so this 1/1, basically this one means it has a single slot. Single slot means if this is my firewall, okay, then it will have only one slot, or you can say one column. Okay, if I have interfaces like this, then this firewall will have two slots. Okay, so this port number will be named as E1/1, this one as E1/2, this one as E1/3, and this is second slot. So this one will be known as E2/1, E2/2, E2/3. So first, this number will always tell you that how many slot, or it is of the which slot. Either if you will see that in the interfaces we have only 1 to 8, so that means that firewall have only one slot. If it will have two, for example 5, then that firewall will have the two slots. Okay, so there are multi slots firewalls also. Okay, in that we will have multiple number of ports like this. For example, okay, so this firewall have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. E5/1, and this one will be known as E5/2. So this is we can call as a multi-slot firewall. Okay. Now here there are some points on the interfaces. Let me just show you. So let us discuss what are these things. So first one is this. This interface will this is a predefined name. Okay. This is a predefined name. For example, this E1/1 is a predefined name. We cannot change this name. Now there is this interface type. Okay. Either it can be a layer 3, layer 2, high availability, which we call as HA, virtual wire, anything. Okay. So this will tell you about that which type of interface we are using. Currently here you can see these are the blanks. Okay. Because we haven't configured it. And those two interfaces we have created, those are in that we can see that we have an interface type as a layer 3. So this interface type will tell you about that which type of interface we are using. Either we are using a tap interface, HA, virtual wire, layer 2, layer 3, or anything. Now next thing, we have the management profile. We have discussed this management profile. Okay, so whatever the management profile we will create, and we will put, or we can say we will implement on a particular interface, that management profile's name that we have given, it will show you here. This is the link state. What this link state, if this link state will be the green, then it means that my devices, or not device, my interface is up. If this is we can say red, then it means this is down or disable. And if it is gray like this, it means we haven't done the configuration yet. Not, or we can say it like this, it is not configured. Okay. Now next thing, we have the IP address. So whatever IP address we will assign, either we can assign the, let me just remove all this. Either we can assign IP version 4 or IP version 6. Okay. So whatever type of IP version we will assign, or we can assign the VLAN here, loopback, and the tunnel. Okay. I will show you all these things, that how we can create the loopback, how we can create the VLAN. This is the same concept. If you, whatever you have learned on the CCNA, okay. If your concepts are clear of how we create loopback, what is loopback, what is VLAN, how we can create the VLAN, then you will not find any difficulty in creating all these things. Okay. And this is the virtual router. Okay. So if you will assign whatever the virtual router we will assign it, it will show you here. If I will assign, by default we have one virtual router, which is a default one. Okay. Next thing we have as a tag. Okay. So if you will create a VLAN information, then it will show you tag here information, whatever VLAN we will create. Okay. It will show you information like VLAN tag. Okay. So we have 124094 VLANs. Okay. So we can create anything. And on the sub interfaces, if you will create like the SVI concept we have now, on that we can create the sub interfaces. You can there also assign the interfaces. Now next thing we have is a VLAN or the virtual wire, sorry. So if I have made my interface as layer 2, then I can assign the VLANs. Okay. So whatever VLAN I will assign, that number will come here. Okay. Next thing, we have a security zone. I have shown you that how we can create the zones. We can create zone by going here. So whatever, suppose I have created inside zone on the E/1, so it will show you inside here. If I will create outside zone on the E1/2, so it will show you here as a outside. Now next thing we have as a feature. So in this we have different n number of features. I will show you the like LLDP, okay, DHCP client. If it is a DHCP client, we have made the interface and the global protect and QoS, I think. Okay, so there are all many others also. Okay, and whatever the description we will give here, the description will come on this comment box. Okay, and there is, I think, okay, so from here we can create the sub interfaces. You can just go here, add sub interfaces number 2, suppose I want to give, and the VLAN tag, suppose I'm giving 1. So from here you can just create the sub interfaces. So it will create a sub interfaces like this. Okay, now here we have a if you will go into the advanced. Okay, yes, so here we have link speed as auto. Okay, so on the real devices you can configure all these link speeds also. So what this link speed will be, so it will tell you about the interface speed. Okay, you can change it, either you can put it like 10 mbps, 100,000, according to that. Here right now it is selected to the auto. And here we have the link duplex. What link duplex is, it will tell you the what is my transmission mode. Okay, either it can be a full duplex, half duplex. Okay, or here we have in the negotiation section, which we call as a auto. Next thing we have as a let me just remove it. Next thing we have as a link state. So in the link state, it can be either up, down. Okay, right now it is auto. We can change it. You can just go here, auto, up, down. And the management profile, I have talked about it. And the MTU. So this MTU is by default. Right now it is not. We can give it up to the 1500. Okay, so this is maximum transmission unit. So how much data at a time, or we can say at a time, how much data or how much a packet can be transmitted at a particular time. So we can give it as like 1500 maximum. Okay, and you can just leave other things. Now there is a let me just remove it. Okay, let me just show you first. So if I want to create loopback, we can just create a loopback from here. Just select, you can give any name. Okay, right now we cannot able to give it. Just select it, default. Okay, you can select any zone we have created inside. Just click on this inside. If I want to create one loopback, suppose 8.8.8.8, and please use the subnet mask as 30/32. And loopback as 1. Okay, it is showing the invalid. I have used 2 dots. Okay, so here we have created one loopback. So what this loopback is, what is the use of this loopback interface? Basically on the Cisco devices, na, we can use any subnet mask, but this is a firewall, so we cannot use other subnet mask. If you will try to use other subnet mask other than the /32, it will not, you will not able to create that particular loopback. So whatever the loopback you want to create. So for example, what is loopback interface? So basically, these loopback interfaces are the layer 3 virtual interfaces, okay, that are connected to the virtual routers. Okay, and why do we use for what is the use of this loopback interfaces? Basically, we use these loopback interfaces for like multiple network engineering or implementation purpose, or its main role is for the troubleshooting. Okay, and for the like we have a protocol like OSPF. EIGRP doesn't run on the Palo Alto. Okay, OSPF BGP. Here we have one concept of router ID. Okay, which we call as a uh, router ID. Okay, so for the routing identification, okay, we use this loopback interfaces. And next thing we have as a tunnel. Okay, so you can, when we will use the VPN concepts, then I will show you that how we can create tunnel. Okay, I'm just showing you that you will just have to go here, add. Okay, from there you can just create like I want to give tunnel 1 virtual router, this security zone, if it's inside, outside, anything. Okay, here you can use any subnet mask 192.168.1.1 hyphen 24. So here we have created tunnels. Okay, so tunnel is a concept that we are gonna study on the VPN. Okay, so I'm just giving you the overview that what is the use of this tunnel. Okay, so what are these tunnel thing? So basically, these tunnel are, we can say that it is kind of a logical, or we can say virtual interface. Okay, which is used on the VPN tunnels. Okay, and a tunnel interface is always used to deliver the encrypted traffic between the two endpoints. Okay, so whatever interfaces we created as tunnel, they will always perform the encryption. So we can write that point as that a tunnel interface is used to deliver encrypted traffic between two endpoints. Okay, so basically here endpoints means our firewalls. Okay, site 1, site 2, we'll discuss this, what these sites are, what are those things. Okay, so or these tunnel interfaces must belong. Okay, here you have to in the I have shown you that how we can create the tunnels. I have assigned one security zone there. Look, in the security zone I have assigned inside. So you, it here in this, it is compulsory to assign a particular security zone. Okay, right now we have only created only one security zone. We can create multiple number of security zones. Okay, so here we can this is the important point, that the tunnel interface must belong to a security zone. Either it can be, okay, mostly in the scenarios we use three types of zones: inside, outside, and the DMZ. We can give any name, okay? But in the real scenarios, we use these three types of zones and we name them as it is, okay? And it must be assigned a virtual router, okay? So the virtual router that I have assigned, that is a by default. So it must get assigned, or we can write it like this. It must be, or it must assign a virtual router. So we right now we have assigned the default virtual router. We can create the virtual router in the, I think yesterday's class we have configured the virtual router. What is virtual router? Just leave it right now. Okay. So in the yesterday's class, we have created one virtual router with the help of the CLI. Okay. And this tunnel interface, it doesn't require an IP address to route traffic between two sites. Okay. So in the tunnel interface, if this is my tunnel interface, it is my choice. Either I can put the IP address, or if I don't want to put any IP address, then also it will work. And next thing, last thing, we have a concept of VLAN.
So can you come again the last point, like uh,
Okay.
so
So here I have just said that in the tunnel interface, it is, or we can say it is not compulsory, or it is not mandatory to assign the IP address, okay, to route traffic between the two sites. Okay. If we want to, you know what these two sites are? So here we create one tunnel. While doing the VPN, we will create tunnels. Okay. So it is not mandatory to assign the IP addresses here. Okay. This is the concept of VPN. Okay. Just remember that it is not compulsory to assign the IP address for the routing purpose. Okay. Between the two sites. Okay. This is how tunnel interfaces will work. Okay. On the layer 3, it is compulsory to assign the IP address. On the tap interfaces, it is used for the monitoring purpose. Okay. When we will do, if you guys have done the concept of SPAN switching concept, I think it is a part of CCNA or CCNP. Here we use this for the monitoring purpose. I will show you one lab on this also. SPAN, when we will use the tap interface. Okay. We know now some like L1 engineers, they work for the monitoring. Okay. Some say that I'm in the monitoring team. So basically, they are connected with a device which is, uh, sorry, they are connected with the interface of tap interface. Okay. So there is a tap interface which is working on this technology, that is SPAN. Okay. Now we have a next concept as VLAN. I think most of you guys are familiar with this. What is VLAN? Okay. So in this VLAN interface, we can provide routing into the, how we can write it. So in this VLAN interface, we can provide routing into layer 3. Just a second, guys. Okay. So where would we? So in this VLAN interface, we can provide routing information, or we can say routing into the layer 3 network. Okay. And either we can set this VLAN into the read-only interfaces. Okay. For the identity purposes, just leave it. So next thing that we are gonna do is the zones. Let me show you those. Okay, so basically these are the things that we are gonna do. Okay, so for the like experiment purposes, na, we can in the Cisco routers we use loopback for creating the like I want my router as, if I will make a topology, this router, if I want my router to act as a, this is the LAN. Okay, so we doesn't create fully LAN, we just created one loopback. If this loopback is reachable with this network, it means it has a connectivity this with the help of this LAN network. So in this firewall, we can use the VLAN. Okay, we will not able to use loopback like this for the command purpose, or we can say for the training purpose. So now we have a concept of zones. Okay, I have shown you that how we can create the zones. We can create it on any type. Enable user identification, just leave it right now. Okay, so basically in the zones, na, please remember that we can give any name to the zone. Okay, it is lagging. So now we will discuss about the firewall zones. Okay, this is the main feature of the firewalls. Okay, so we will see what are these zones. Basically, we can define that, or we can say that these security zones are the logical way to group physical or virtual interfaces on the firewall. So security zones are logical way to group physical and virtual interfaces on the firewall. Okay, and with the help of these zones, we can control, or we can log the traffic that is traveling from, or we can say transmitting from the specific interfaces. Okay, with the help of these zones we can do these things. Okay, and in the firewall it is compulsory, not only on the Palo Alto firewall, on every firewall, on the ASA which is of Cisco, it is compulsory to, like I have assigned one firewall, oh sorry, 1/1. Okay, I have assigned the IP address. I have given one IP address, suppose 10.1 subnet mask. Okay, after that I have to name, like for example I have named it inside. Okay, if I will write inside na, then it will, it's security, there is a concept of security zone, not security zone, we call it as a security number kind of thing.
Security level.
Security level, yes, security level. So by default inside level is of 100. Okay, Higher the number, higher is the secure, oh sorry, higher the number, it means it is more trusted. Okay, and I have talked about, and I have said many times that inside is the our private one, which is our secure network, and the outside is our the public network, which can be internet. Okay, because we don't have a control on this network, which is our public network. Okay, that's why we have a concept of firewall. That's why we have a concept of zones, like inside and outside. Okay, so that there is can be a, it is kind of a security guard. This firewall is acting as a security guard. Okay, now there is one point, that zone can have, like in the inside zone I can create 10 interfaces. Okay, but on one interface I cannot create two zones, like inside and outside. Okay, so we can say that zones can have multiple interfaces, and but interfaces will be belong to, or can be belong to the one particular security zone. Okay, so this zone feature is basically similar to the Cisco's zone based firewall, which is supported by the iOS routers. Okay, now these policy rules on the firewall use zones to identify where traffic is coming from and where traffic is going. So basically here, with the help of these policy rules on the firewall, basically on the policy rules on the firewall uses zones to identify where, or we can say from where traffic is coming and going, vice versa. Okay, and traffic between different zones cannot be flow, like from the inside. uh Let me just show you one thing. Okay, suppose this is my Palo Alto firewall. Okay, here I have a DMZ zone. Okay, basically we created DMZ zone where is our servers. Okay, suppose this is my guest. These are all different zones. Okay, I have created one zone as guest, I have created one zone as users, I have created one zone as data center, I have created one zone as inside. So basically this inside zone, whatever the devices are here, okay, they will not be able to communicate with the DMZ. They will not be able to communicate with gas. They will not be able to communicate with the user. They will not be able to communicate with this data center. By default, I'm talking about. Okay. So if I want to communicate between two different zones, then what is the thing that we have to do? We have to implement the policies. Okay. So by default, we cannot able to communicate between two zones. Okay. Let me write down this thing also. So traffic between the two zones can't flow until we define the security policies. Okay, so with the help of policies we can do anything. If I want my outside traffic to come to the inside traffic, okay, for a particular route, then we can create all these policies. Okay, so for creating a zone, what we have to do? So basically, for creating the zone, mm, so basically, for creating a zone, we have three steps. First thing, we have to specify the zone name. Next thing, we have to select the zone type. Okay. After that, we have to select, or we can say assign the interface to the particular zone. Okay. So from here, we can create new zones. Okay. Just a second. Let me open the firewall again. If I will go here. Now let me tell you everything about here. So this is the name. So basically this will be the whatever we will give name. Either we can give inside, outside, anything. Okay. It is your choice to give anything. But in the real scenarios, we use inside, outside, DMZ like this. Okay. So this is the type. So basically this type will tell you that which type of interfaces. Okay. Or we can say the zone type. Okay. In the interfaces, this basically these are the interfaces type, but here we call it as a zone type. Which type of zone type we want? Okay, either we can tap, virtual wire, layer 2, layer 3, tunnel. Okay, so here we say it a zone type, but basically it is the concept of the interfaces. Okay, now this interfaces, whatever interface we want to add, like for example E1/1, if I will select, if I will go here, add E1/1. Now this interface will belong to the particular zone. Suppose I am giving it as, okay, MMM I have given it. So this particular interfaces will belong to this particular type of zone, which is E1/1. Now we have this zone protection profile. Okay, so if you will create some like we have created on the management interface management profile now, same thing, this is a zone based profile. Okay, if whatever profile we will create here, we can implement on this. What are these things? These are the security concepts. When we will do the security things, then I will show you. And this is the log settings. Okay, so if I want my like forwarding concepts, log forwarding profile, we can let me show you log forwarding profile. Yes, if I want to create a forwarding profile for basically to forward the protection logs. Okay, when those things will come, then I will show you. This is the enable user identification. Basically it is used to configure the user ID. Okay, so that we can perform the IP address to username mapping. So basically why we use user ID, that concept we will do when we have a concept of user ID, app ID, content ID. And there are other things also. We can put the include list, the policies concept. Okay. So today we have completed. I will share some notes also. Okay. So that you guys don't have to write anything. So that's it for today's session, guys. Okay. So in the tomorrow session, we will start with the routing concepts. We'll start one practical of basic routing. So basically, we will start with the concepts of routing. Then I will show you one lab practical on the Palo Alto firewall, that how we can perform the static routing. If we have a time, then we can perform the dynamic routing also. Okay. So any question, guys? Hello. Any questions from today's session, guys?
No, sir. No
Okay.
from my end. Yeah.
Okay. So that's it for today, guys. Bye bye. Take care. Have a good night. Basically, I forgot my charger. That's why I'm ending the session.